Whether I'm folding clothes, cooking a meal, reading my Bible, or working out, I'm still becoming, not arriving, not perfected, just choosing to grow with God in the everyday. What is up, beautiful people? Welcome back to episode 4 of Becoming Her with God. I want to jump straight into it and just talk to y'all about something that I had noticed. So you know how on YouTube it recommends different videos that kind of relates to your interests. And of course, this challenge is called Becoming Her with God. So I saw a video, I think I might have saw 2 videos on this, but I saw a couple videos of women making videos. I didn't watch the videos, but I saw the titles and they said, "You're not becoming, you're already her." And while I did not watch those videos, I kind of can gauge an idea of what the videos are about. And it kind of just made me want to revisit the foundations of what this series is, what it means to me, and why I'm doing it. So I do believe that I'm already fearfully and wonderfully made. I believe that God knew who I was before he formed me in my mother's womb. I believe that he has plans for me and they are good. He's not trying to figure out my life as he goes. I believe God already has a plan for me, and it's up to me on if I'm going to step into that plan or not. But becoming her with God for me, it's not about this overnight glow up sensation. It's about actively growing, actively getting better, because while I know that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made in Christ, I also know that God gave me duties to fulfill while I'm on this earth. So while I'm still here, while I'm still in this earthly flesh, I do believe that there's always room for improvement. I do believe that I'm not the version who I'm going to be yet, and I don't know that I'll ever feel arrived as long as I'm in this earthly flesh. But I do believe that while I'm here, it's up to me to steward my time, my mind, my body, my relationship with Christ, my relationship with other people. And so do I feel like I'm at the best version that I can be? Not yet, no. And again, I don't know that I'll ever feel arrived, but I believe there's always work to be done. I believe that God has trusted me with this life, with this calling, and I'm still learning to fully step into it. And for me, it's not about randomly becoming this perfect person, because I strive to become more like Jesus every day, and that is a process. I know that I was born into a sinful nature, and I know that it's going to take work. It is a fight. My salvation, I have to work it out every day with fear and trembling. And so I'm not trying to promote, you have to become perfect before God could use you. No, the purpose of this series is about showing you the in-between, because it's the process that really builds your character. It's the process and life experiences, the ups, the downs. That's what makes me who I am. That's what's going to build me into really becoming that better version of myself that I'm striving for. So during this challenge, I don't only show the ups, I show the downs too. Last week, I shared that I was so discouraged in my walk with God, because I was. And I want to show y'all all the in-between moments as well, and show y'all that yes, I'm still becoming. Does that mean God cannot use me? Absolutely not. But I'm still actively working on becoming better for the Lord. So I just wanted to kind of lay the foundations of this challenge so you can understand what I'm doing this for, what it means, and if it's something that you want to follow along with, you are more than welcome to follow this journey with me. And I just hope that I can inspire you in your walk with Christ in some way, shape, or form. So whether that's me sharing the scripture with you, sharing my workout, whatever it is that I'm going through in life, I really just want to be an inspiration to other people and show the in-between process, because that's what really counts. But without further ado, my camera is about to die. I'm about to get to this workout, and I will talk to y'all a little bit later.
Yeah. What up, Ike? What up, Reed? Let's holla at them. They don't wanna, nah. See, they rather do the opposite. On that Sodom tip, more content in the godlessness. But it's rad for those who choose to oppose. Don't disregard it, cause I'm approaching you with the flows. Exposing you to Jehovah, you use vocals to do a verse. But his vocals made a universe.
What is up, lovely people? Your girl is back, and I'm folding clothes, and it's so funny because it seems like every time I get ready to record an episode for this series, I gotta fold clothes. So I'm like, Lord, is that a sign? Does this need to become a fold and yap session where I fold clothes and yap? I don't know, let's see. But I am just folding clothes, as I mentioned, and I kind of just wanted to talk to y'all about just stuff that had been on my heart. Now, I know that this is a time where a lot of people, they go on a fast, and I myself, I was on a fast, but I kind of fell off, if I'm being honest. The fast is supposed to be 21 days with no food, which I know is kind of extreme. If I were to go 21 days without food, that would be the longest fast I've ever done without any food at all. And last year, my church did this fast as well. And I realized that I had forgot to share the testimony of what God did for me after the fast. I shared it on, I think, my Instagram and my Facebook, but I never shared it on YouTube. So last year, right before we did the fast, I wrote down a list of things that I was believing God for. And one of the things that I put on the list is that I wanted God to cancel my student debt. And so we go throughout the fast, and actually I have a vlog on my channel where I kind of did a mini vlog every single day that I was doing the fast. I only lasted 6 days, but I have a vlog where I just kind of show what I was feeling, what I was thinking. And so if you want to check that out, I think the name of the vlog is called 2026 Reset, Prayer and Fasting, if I'm not mistaken. So you might have to do a little bit of some scrolling, but yeah, that's up if you want to check that out. But yeah, I wrote down I wanted God to help me with my student loan debt. And it was so crazy because when I had only lasted those 6 days, I was feeling kind of guilty. I was like, dang, because I really was doing my best to last the whole 21 days, but I was having strong heart palpitations, and it did make me a little nervous. And if I'm being honest, I thought I was going home to meet the Lord early, okay? The way I was feeling, it was just something I had never felt before. And with fasting, it's one of those things where obviously you want to be cautious, you want to be wise with it. And my church is led by, he's kind of like the overseer. He's not really the pastor, but he's kind of like the overseer. It's a global ministry, so there's multiple campuses, but the one that I go to is the headquarters of the whole ministry. And he's an apostle. And one thing that I've learned about apostles after reading the Bible is that they're a little bit more macho. You know, they have a lot of wisdom, but they kind of like edify the church in a way of building up their, I guess, toughness, if you will. And I think Paul is the perfect example of that. Before he came to Christ, he was called Saul, and he was persecuting Christians. And he was pretty much just a little bit aggressive. So I think that when the Lord called Paul, he used that aggression, that macho soldier-like type of attributes. He used those attributes and he turned it for good. So he might have been using those attributes for the kingdom of darkness, but I believe that God ended up turning that around and using those for the kingdom of light, God's kingdom. And so the overseer of my church, he is an apostle. And he has us on a 21-day fast with no food at all. Now we get water by the grace of God. And I think he allows tea and I think juice with no sugar in it though. But he does teach us precautions, and if you have certain things going on with you medically and how you should seek a doctor and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it is for spiritual reasons. And he always says that there's probably no doctor that would recommend you do a 21-day fast, but it's for spiritual reasons. And of course, you need to seek God for yourself and make sure that God is, telling you to do that, of course, and just take all the precautions that you need to. But I was kind of mentioning that because it reminded me of, first I had to tell y'all about what God did for me. My bad, I'm kind of jumping all over the place. So on the 11th day on the fast, obviously I said I lasted only 6 days, and I was beating myself up. I was like, oh God, I really wanted to push through. I hope you're not mad at me and all that stuff. And later on I got a revelation that God was not mad at me. He was happy that I still, was willing to sacrifice, and I was willing to put my flesh under submission. And that's really what mattered. It wasn't so much about lasting the whole 21 days for me. It was about the fact that I was even willing to do it, and my heart was in the right place. And I think that's what matters above the number of days that I fasted. But on the 11th day of the fast, I ended up getting an email from the United States Department of Education. And when I opened the email up, it pretty much was saying your student loans, your federal student loans have been forgiven, and anything that you have paid will be compensated. I read that email about 3 to 4 times in 1 hour because I'm like, are my eyes deceiving me? Like, what? Like, is this the answer to my prayer? And it was. They literally forgave my federal student loans. And I was so shocked, y'all. It's like I should not have been shocked because it is something I asked God for, and it was something that I was having faith for, but it was still just crazy seeing it. I was like, oh my goodness, God really did this for me. I had been carrying that debt since 2020. That's when I first started school, and God, he did it for me. And that was amazing. And I shared it on my Facebook. I shared it on my Instagram. People started DMing me and asking me, how can I get my student loans forgiven? And I wished that I had practical answers for them. But my answer was that I fasted and I prayed and I asked God, and he did it for me. You know, I wish I had something more to give them, but that was really all that I did. So I just wanted to share that little testimony. But another reason I wanted to mention that is because something I noticed about myself is that every time when I go on the fast, it's like I don't be caring to get back on social media. Because when I go on the fast, I do delete all of my socials because I want to focus on God. I don't want any distractions. I don't want to be doom scrolling and all of that. And I just noticed that every time after I get off of a fast, I just do not be caring for social media. I be feeling like the book of Ecclesiastes. You know how it talks about everything is meaningless, just meaningless. That's really how I be feeling. It's like I be feeling like I don't need people's approval. I don't need likes. I don't need views in order to feel like I'm worth anything. And not saying that's people's reason for being on there, although it might be some people's reasoning. But please let me know that I'm not the only one on this, because I just be like, what is the point of this? But then I be feeling like God be telling me, the way you live your life, it brings me glory. The things you post on social media, it brings me glory. It can help evangelize. It can help win souls to my kingdom. And so that is why if I do post on social media, that is my purpose for posting, is to be a light in this world. We know we live in a crazy world. And it's just to overall represent the kingdom of light. But honestly, I just do not be caring for it. And honestly, I have contemplated deleting all of my socials. I just really I don't care for it, you know? And some people consider YouTube a social media platform. I don't know that I really consider it a social media platform. Obviously, you can be social in a lot of ways, but to me, it's a little bit different. There's not a feed. Well, you have YouTube Shorts, but it's not really the same to me as like Instagram, Facebook, X, stuff like that. But that's just me. I don't really consider it a social media. I consider it just a place where I kind of watch long form content. Really, I really don't watch shorts like that either. I might every so often see a short, but for the most part, I watch it for long form content. But there was even a time where I was ready to get off of YouTube. And honestly, if God ever told me to stop creating videos on YouTube, I would. I'm just not attached to it to the point where I feel like I need it. And I think that's a healthy place to be with anything, because God does not want us to have idols. And sorry, I'm going down a whole tangent, y'all. My point of mentioning that was just to talk about, sometimes I just be feeling like certain things are meaningless. Like the book of Ecclesiastes, it really is one of my favorite books of the Bible. I think it was written by Solomon, if I'm not mistaken. Solomon was, I think, the most wisest man, because God blessed him with wisdom after King Solomon asked him to help him be the ruler that he needed to be for the people. And sometimes I be having that feeling, even when I'm at the gym. Like I saw a reel one time, and it showed somebody was working out, and it said, the moment you realize that you're not taking this body with you to heaven and that you're getting a glorified body. And then they like drop the weights down. I'm like, bro, I be feeling that to the core. Like sometimes I could be working out and I'll be like, bro, this is so meaningless. Like one day I'm not going to take this body with me and I'm going to get a new body. So what is the point, you know? But I know it's not saying it's just no point to the point where you should not try, because at the end of the day, God gave us stewardship. He wants us to steward our bodies. He wants us to steward the earth. And that is a responsibility that if we don't tend to those responsibilities, we could be held accountable for it. So I'm not saying it's meaningless in the sense that we should not try or we should not do what we're supposed to do. Obviously we should, but I'm just saying, when you think of things on a deeper level, you start to realize like, bro, it really don't mean nothing. You know, I don't know. Please let me know that I am not the only one on that. And let me know if y'all get what I'm saying, because I don't even know if it's making sense. But these are things that just have been on my mind lately. And overall, I'm just trying to make sure that God is pleased with me, because sometimes I'll be feeling like, what is the point? But I try to do everything that I do with intention. And that's what I talked about in my last video, where I was talking about slow living and how I'm not trying to promote laziness. I'm just trying to promote doing everything with true purpose and true intention, whether that's reading a book, folding clothes, going to the gym, going to work, whatever you're doing it with true intention, because I think God is in the details. He's in everything. And I believe God pays attention to what we do with the little things and the big things, because I believe it determines what God could trust us with going forward. But I don't know if that made sense. I hope that resonated with y'all in some way, shape, or form. I don't think this episode is going to be too long this week. I don't want to force anything. I want everything to flow and to be natural. So if some episodes are longer, that's cool. If some episodes are shorter, that's cool with me. Hopefully y'all are enjoying the series. Hopefully y'all are enjoying the content. If you like this content, feel free to subscribe, stay a while, join the family. Do me a favor and like this video, and feel free to get in the comment section down below. Let me know what God has been teaching you lately, because I would love to know. I think there's always room to grow, improve, and get better. But without further ado, your girl is about to get up out of here. I love you. Jesus Christ loves you. Peace, love, and blessings. And I will see y'all in next week's episode of Becoming Her with God. Mwah.